Have you ever sat down at your desk with the intention of drawing? You feel already all fired up and everything, and then somehow an hour later, you've been organizing your art supplies instead? Do you find yourself starting brand new projects even though you've got 5 unfinished ones staring at you from the corner of your screen? Or maybe you just feel lost and you have so many ideas, so much that you want to do, but somehow weeks and months pass by and you end up doing nothing. Yeah, same, actually. I've got something to tell you. If you're an artist with ADHD, I want you to know that you are not broken, but your brain does work differently from others. And if you don't understand how it works, it is dangerously easy to burn out and start feeling like you're bad at everything you care about, that you're never going to meet your full potential. So in this video, I'm going to break down how ADHD actually impacts creativity and what you can do to work with your ADHD and not against it. Because most productivity advice you see on YouTube, not only is it built for neurotypicals, but it's built for projects that might have a clear beginning, middle, and end, and not necessarily anything in the creative space. All of their productivity advice is definitely not for people with 5 ongoing art projects and a brain that just runs on chaos and vibes. I'm Sia. I'm a storyboard artist and also an ADHD coach. I run a coaching program specifically for artists with ADHD, where I help neurodivergent creatives actually follow through on their ideas and build systems that work for a sustainable and consistent creative practice. ADHD is a double-edged sword. People love to romanticize ADHD and artists, saying things like, "Oh, you must be so creative, good for you." And yeah, sometimes ADHD is a creative superpower. You might be amazing at coming up with ideas, making unexpected connections, working really well under pressure, or hitting that flow state through hyperfocus. But if we're being honest with ourselves, you don't need more ideas. You've already got way too many floating around. That fast, flexible thinking that allows you to make those unexpected connections can also lead to distractions. Working under pressure is fine every once in a while, but it can lead to burnout in the long term, and hyperfocus can leave you drained and behind on every single other aspect of your life, like eating, sleeping, or responding to that email from 2 weeks ago. When it comes to turning ideas into finished work and building a sustainable art practice, you need a whole different skill set that doesn't necessarily come naturally to people with ADHD. ADHD makes it brutally hard to stick with routines, finish what we start, and handle all of the quote-unquote boring parts of creative work, like organizing files, answering emails, invoicing clients, or keeping up with posting content on social media. You watch other people land jobs, publish books, grow their followings, and you're just left there asking yourself, why can't I just do it? What's wrong with me? Little by little, over weeks and months and years, it starts to eat away at your confidence. If you're watching this video, I want to reassure you that it's not laziness, it's just executive dysfunction. Here's what most people don't know. ADHD doesn't necessarily mean that you have a deficit in attention. That's just how neurotypicals experience our symptoms. ADHD just means that you have an inconsistency in controlling and directing your attention. It's not a deficit. ADHD brains are interest-driven, not priority-driven. You know, you can tell yourself that something is important or it has consequences or rewards built in, but if your brain thinks it's boring, it's just gonna tap out. The trick is to combine creativity and any other obligations that you have with novelty, interest, and passion. So if you're trying to be productive, if you're trying to work on something, stop forcing it. Just make it interesting. Just make it feel good. If you have to clean your art studio and you really don't want to, put on a YouTube video or a trashy reality TV show that you've been meaning to watch. If you're dealing with art block and you have a deadline, introduce some novelty in your environment. Go to a cafe or go to a neighborhood in your city that you haven't been to. Just do something to introduce some novelty into your drawing routine. And if you can't do that, pair your creative time with your favorite snack or your favorite drink. Some people call this temptation bundling. Some people call it dopamine anchoring. Whatever the name is, the goal is to make the process fun and stimulating. Once you do that, you're way more likely to follow through on it. Be smart about the things that you're combining. Be mindful of your energy. If you're gonna be writing a script and you really don't want to, might not be the best idea to listen to an audiobook. You know, that's too much verbal input. But if you can get your body moving and you can go work at a cafe or go on a walk and narrate your script to your phone and use voice to text, that could work in introducing some novelty into your practice. If you're doing something mindless like cleaning up your sketches or organizing your files, that's exactly when you would want to put on a podcast or a video. If you absolutely need to lock in and can't have any distractions, put on some noise canceling headphones and a treat. Get your favorite snack. Seriously, never underestimate the power of snacks. I have Pavloved myself into needing snacks when I'm storyboarding because at my last studio job, my cubicle was right next to the kitchen, and the kitchen was always fully stocked with snacks every single day. Shout out to the production staff on King of the Hill, you guys are the best. Never underestimate the power of snacks when it comes to motivation. If you've tried all of the temptation bundling and dopamine anchoring and all of those hacks and nothing's quite clicking for you yet, it might be time to look at the task at hand and how that might not be right for you. That leads us to our next section, which is about doing what you're good at. If all of these motivation hacks aren't working for you, you want to sit down and do some self-reflection and really ask yourself, what am I naturally good at? What do people always compliment about my art? Do I work better alone or with others? Does creating art for other people excite me or frustrate me? How do I feel about repetitive work? How long can I stick to one project without getting bored? For me personally, I do not have the patience to work on a single piece for weeks on end. But I do love coming up with ideas and making people feel something when they look at my art. So that's why I became a storyboard artist working in animation. I don't have to finish anything. I draw what I need to draw. If it gets the point across, I move on to the next thing. It's great. If you're super meticulous and detail-oriented and you don't mind spending a long time on one project, maybe you'd thrive as a background artist for animation or a product designer or a medical illustrator. The possibilities are endless. If you really hate repetitive work, maybe don't take on commissions that require you to draw a million props, for example. The point is, if you're having a really hard time motivating yourself to get anything done, screw it. Just do what you're good at and what you enjoy. Play to your strengths and forget the rest. Let's talk time management. People love to preach discipline as if it's the answer. They'll say things like, just finish this thing that you have to do and then have a cookie at the end to reward yourself. And the only thing I have to say to that is, I can just eat the cookie now. No one's gonna stop me. That said, when it comes to ADHD, you still need some form of structure. Think about it. Even neurotypical people have structures in place to keep up with the demands of day-to-day life. Neurotypical people use calendars, to-do lists, notes, and a myriad of other things to keep their life on track. So what makes you think that ADHD people also don't need structure? The purpose of having structure for ADHD folks is to reduce decision fatigue, not necessarily to add pressure. You don't need a rigid 9-to-5 schedule that's inflexible. The structure you create for yourself basically needs to be like a big container. You need those guardrails and those boundaries and a predictable routine that gently guides you and nudges you towards what it is that you need to do without making you feel constricted or without room for your mind to naturally wander. That's where transitions come in. Transitions are basically gentle cues that signal to your brain, hey, we're switching gears now. Transitions can be anything, sights, sounds, sensations. So a specific post-it note, a playlist, a change of outfit. There's a lot of things that you can do to create that soft bridge between tasks so that your mind isn't necessarily jolted from one thing to the next, but guided there gently with intention. I know lots of people that work from home and they always start their day by changing into their work clothes. Even if they're not leaving the house, the act of putting on their work clothes, like a nice shirt or like nice dress pants, signals to their brain, hey, it's time for us to start working now. Same thing when you're wrapping up for the day. Maybe you change into your PJs right when it hits 6 p.m. because that signals to your brain, hey, I'm done working now, even if you haven't left the house all day. When I'm working on a portfolio or I'm doing freelance storyboarding work, I will spend anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes just scrolling on LinkedIn or Instagram and looking at other storyboard artists' work. It warms up my brain and starts to train my eyes a little bit, and it basically just shifts me into that creative storyboarding mode, even if I don't feel like drawing. Outside of transitions, structure can look like a lot of different things. An example that I like to use for people is day theming. Basically, you have a designated day of the week for one particular area of your life or one particular project. For example, Monday is exclusively for writing. You don't do anything else that day. No emails, no admin work, nothing. Just writing. Tuesday can be exclusively client and admin work. So sending invoices, writing contracts, and just making sure everything is ready to go. Friday can be your cafe day. Maybe you check out a new cafe and work from there, or you just find a new neighborhood to explore. I know a lot of YouTubers have filming days where they will come up with a bunch of ideas for their videos and just spend one day filming all of them in one go. Day theming can reduce decision fatigue by a lot. You're not waking up every morning thinking, oh, what am I gonna do today? Like, if you have a lot of projects going on in different areas of your life, day theming can kind of reduce that decision fatigue, and you just make it easier for you to get to work every single day without needing to plan. Some people use time boxing as well. Basically, you give yourself a designated amount of time to finish a project or finish a specific milestone in a project. So it could be something like, I'm giving myself exactly 1 hour to finish the line art on this comic, no more and no less. All of these techniques can be combined with temptation bundling and transitions and everything else that I've mentioned in this video. Like I said, structure is really just meant to function as a big container. It's kind of like rails in a bowling lane. You know, you don't need to hit a strike every single time, but you just need some direction. The last thing I want to talk about in this video is how important it is to have some sort of external accountability. ADHD folks grow up internalizing a lot of negative messaging. We're told that we're lazy, we're stupid, we can't follow through on anything, we can't do the things that we set out to do, we disappoint the people around us, and it just leads to a shame spiral really fast. So as we get older, and especially if we choose to pick up some sort of creative practice, whether that's just a hobby or something professional, we need connection. We need to have external accountability in some way. I recommend body doubling a lot, but having external accountability doesn't just mean body doubling. You just need someone to know that you're working on something and have them follow up with you on whether or not you got it done. So that can be something like a check-in with other art friends once a week, posting your work in progress for social media for that external accountability, or just joining some sort of art Discord like mine. This need for connection with others and having external accountability is exactly why my ADHD coaching program is structured the way it is. My group sessions are comprised of 4 artists who get to know each other over the span of 6 weeks. Each artist commits to a personal project for the duration of the program. This small group format isn't just for moral or emotional support. It's an actual structure that's proven to build accountability and good habits. It's a lot easier to get stuff done when you know that you have people in your life that are gonna follow up with you on whether or not you got it done. It's not just about finding and building community. It's about creating the external conditions that allow creative people to finish what they start. Everyone comes out of my ADHD coaching program with a sense of pride and achievement and confidence. After a lifetime of negativity and shame and being told that you can't do something, people feel really empowered when they're able to commit to something for the span of 6 weeks and actually finish it by the end of the program. The ability to focus and be structured and achieve your goals is just a muscle. Those are all skills that you practice over time. ADHD makes things challenging, but it doesn't necessarily make them impossible. So if you are a creative person with ADHD, you don't need to fix yourself. You just need to build a creative practice with a structure that works for your brain. A practice that is built on interest, novelty, and passion. It's not easy, but it's definitely possible. I've done it, my clients have done it, and you can as well. If you're also an artist with ADHD, let me know in the comments. What's your biggest ADHD struggle? If you already have a system or a method that works, share that in the comments as well. Someone else could really find that insightful. If you enjoyed this video and you've made it this far, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot with the algorithm, and it helps other creatives with ADHD find this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!